Check, check, check. All right, mic's working. What do you know? Check. All right. I think you can hear me now. Looks like my mic's working. What a pain in the balls, let me tell you. Before we get any of the ladies back in here, if there are any. You can't hear me, right? I hope. Check. Yeah, it's working. Give it a minute. We got a few back. Okay, what a pain. The cord actually went bad on me. How does a cord go bad just sitting here? I moved the cord when I was checking it on there's a way to troubleshoot it. And I moved the cord and it's going in and out. So for now, I jammed something in there and we'll get a new cord for it tomorrow. What a pain in the ass. VR80s, guys, go to, y'all know what PSA stands for? Maybe somebody could type it other than me. They have them on sale for $5.99. $5.99, finally available. I know there were a lot of guys messaging me asking where they could get one. Well, that's where you can get one. And there's a lot. I get more questions on the VR80 than any other gun, I think, other than AKs. But for those of you that don't know, the VR80 is imported by Rock Island Armory. It is a AR-15 style shotgun. The controls look like it. The receivers look like it. Everything looks like it. But while that's similar and looks like an AR, nothing transfers other than a grip or a stock. Rush Hour paid $800 for his. Yeah. So Orion got it right there. That's the correct answer. And they have them for $5.99 on sale right now. So good deal. Good deal. Anyhow, let's see. I have a VR80. Should I put the heavy load gas piston in for 00 buckshot and slugs, or should I go out? Are they 3-inch or 2 3/4 inch? Here's the rule of thumb, and here's what the manual states. So anything 2 3/4 inch. Use the low gas ring. Anything 3-inch, use the heavy gas ring. Now, I'll tell you this. If your gun's cycling fine with light loads right now, I tried mine with 2 3/4 inch buckshot. It would not cycle it on the heavy ring. I haven't tried it recently with more break-in, but it wouldn't cycle it. So I had to go to the light one. Slugs would cycle on the heavy gas ring. So try it. If they'll cycle reliably on the heavy, by all means use the heavy ring because it's going to give you less recoil. Just make sure it's cycling properly. Also make sure the bolt lock's open. If the bolt won't lock open on the last shot, then go back to the light ring. But the manual suggests anything 2 3/4, you can get by with the light ring. But the point of it is to get the least amount of recoil out of that gun. So I would use the heavy ring if you can, if it'll cycle. So just a little, try it out. It takes 2 minutes to change them out. If you don't know how to change them out or clean it or anything, take the bolt apart. I got videos on all of it, so check it out. We're going to be doing some more. I'm actually going to really sight that thing in on slugs. And I'm also going to sight in with an optic the 1301 Beretta. And we're going to see just how accurate these things are with slugs. I had so much fun shooting those slugs in that 1301 video that I got to get out there and shoot some more. I mean, it was just a blast. Those things hit that steel torso plate and just sent it sailing. I mean, you can hit that thing with a 308. and you get a pretty good swing out of it and a nice ping. But these things were just gong. That thing flew, and if you hit it quick enough again on the way down, holy cow, I could tear it right off the stand if I wanted to. It's really, really cool. Let's see, Orion Rock, did you know PSA is building Tula AKs? No, I didn't. Really? Really? Yeah. No, you're not the last to know. I am. If you guys haven't tried this stuff, my God, this is the nectar of the gods, this Red Bull Peach. I'm like 6-pack a day of this stuff. Oh, ridiculously good. Anyhow, let's get into the chat. Guys, I apologize about yesterday. I was meant to do one. I got home. I got involved in doing videos. Totally forgot about it. Just a lot going on right now. My wife made a trip down to where my son passed away to get her family straight. They were going down there originally to find them a house and get with the realtors and everything. And just, it's been a few months and she couldn't get down there till now mentally. So she's down there. A lot going on. And yeah, so it's just bringing things up again and that kind of thing. I will tell you one thing and then I'll get off the subject. I carry my camera gear around in my car all the time, along with every steel targets and everything. So I don't have to load it in and out when I go to the range to do videos. So my camera, yes, I have a Vepr 12, and I'll talk about it in just a second. So hang on there, K-Dog. So my camera must have been in my car. My son took my car to the store, and he did a quick video where he's shooting himself sitting in a car. Hey, Dad, I'm in your car. Left your camera in the car. And all he said was, just want to tell you, I love you. And he blew me a kiss in the video. And I thought I lost the video because at the time, okay, it was cute, whatever. And I didn't think much of it. And I thought I had deleted it. And I searched and searched and searched and couldn't find it. Today, I'm looking for some footage in my hard drive and I came across it. And while I was really happy to find it, it just hit me really, really hard today. And it's been a tough day. So anyhow, I missed the stream last night. Here I am tonight. So the video you will see drop immediately after this video. And I mean, within a minute of this video, of this stream going off, I'm dropping that video. And I started out talking about this Cobra because I've been doing all these high-end shotguns. Let's face it, these Berettas and Benellis, they're $2,000, $4,000. They're expensive guns. And I ended up talking about, when I'm doing the video, I ran down to the gun vault, took out an armload of shotguns and brought them up. And I'm looking at them all in the rack. And I'm going, man, I never realized I had that many shotguns. And when I thought about it, shotguns are where I started, probably where a lot of us started, right? And I really love them because my early exposure to guns and everything I did with guns was revolved around trap shooting. And for those of you listening here, I did a ton of it and still do. And it dawned on me, wow, look at all these shotguns. I have some subliminal thing in my brain that tells me, oh, look at that shotgun, and I end up buying them. So I brought them all up and I wanted to do just a video on the cheap shotgun, but I felt like I needed to go back in and tell you guys where this comes from. And my first gun, it was great it's not a first gun video, but it is. And I'm getting to your Vepr question. Hang in there, K-Dog. I take out you'll see in the video, but I take out my first gun, Remington 870 Wingmaster. Built around 79 or 80. And it's a trap model, B grade, the wood and all. And I show it on camera. Wait till you see it. It shows... I think it does it justice actually on the video. The bluing in the wood, just ridiculous. They don't make guns like this anymore, let alone a Remington. Now you're lucky to get like some pseudo park paint finish, and laminate press board stocks. This thing's just beautiful. And I did everything with that: trap, pheasant hunt, everything. And then the second, that's the shotgun I had forever. It did everything for me. And then I bought this cheap Cobra shotgun, and the faux tube wouldn't work. I tried fixing it, screwed up the gun, actually threw it in the corner, forgot about it for 10 years. Finally brought it back out, and now I'm trained, get more gunsmithing knowledge, all of that. And I start working on it, and I get it, and I get a Remington. There's people have been looking for a fix for this Cobra extension forever. Nobody's come up with anything. Well, I came up with it. You can get an 870 extension tube on there. The threading is not perfect, but if you start it right and work it back and forth, almost like a tap or a die rather, you can get it on there. It works perfect. You have to cut the tube just right at the threads and have the right amount of threads. So leave yourself room. But if you guys want, I'll do a whole separate video. If not, you'll get the idea. Anyway, so I do a video on that thing. And for what it is, it's a $199 gun, guys. I got it. I got a gift certificate for Christmas at Cabela's, $200. And I bought the thing. And for what it is, it runs well. It ejects well. It does all that stuff. No chokes. It's essentially an 870 copy in a lot of ways, but pretty cool. So we go through that. I go through my Vepr. My Vepr was the next one I bought. Of course, AKs. Got to have an AK shotgun, right? So Veprs compared to Segas. Sega's a great gun, but just about all of them, in order to run light loads, needed substantial work. And it was reported that the Veprs didn't need as much work. And that's, there's true and false to both of those statements. Some Segas run wonderfully. Some Veprs run wonderfully. Mine didn't want to cycle anything lower than like almost 1,400 feet per second shells. Now, the rule I go by on any of these mag-fed shotguns, or mag-fed for the most part, is that I should be able to run shells at a minimum 1,300 feet per second, but I would like to run 1,250 feet per second, or even 1,200 if possible. If you can do that, mission accomplished. My Vepr with factory mags, mind you, will run just about anything. But they're expensive, right? You got SGM tactical. You've got, I have CS spec mags. Those are steel, custom made by CS spec, expensive mags, but beautiful and heavy duty, gorgeous. They run pretty good. But if you want the gun to run and always run, get the factory mags, the 10 rounders, the 8 rounders. I think there's 12 rounders. I have a few 10s. And not only do they look good, are they built awesome, but they run great. But once that gun gets broken in, sometimes they get better. Other times you need to go to parts. I've replaced springs. I have replaced that little op rod on the recoil spring. The puck, I have a different puck, a titanium puck out of Russia that the shape of it gives you a little more pressure. You can drill them out. Make sure they're drilled properly. First of all, make sure your gas block is lined up right, not covering one of the holes partially. That happens quite a bit with those. Just check everything real good. You can slick it up, polish, this and that. And it takes a lot of work, and it depends on the gun. I check 4 or 5 things I check, and then I usually know what to go to when I see what's going on. I've gotten pretty good at it. I can pretty much get anything running. So we're talking about the Vepr, and a few weeks ago we had an open house at my gun club. Members bring pistols, rifles, shotguns, whatever, and we're in different areas. The 3-gun crowd is at one range. The black powder crowd's at another range. The trap guys are at one thing. I work at the 3-gun thing every year, and last year I brought pistols, and this year I thought I'm going to bring some shotguns because my my Beretta was brand new, hadn't even fired it yet, and I had the Vepper, and they supply the ammo. And I show up and I'm a little late and I uncase the stuff, and there's guys lined up by the rifles and the pistols, and they saw these tactical shotguns come out, and the line like shifted down. They're right in front of me. They're waiting to shoot my guns. And I pulled the Beretta out and I said, guys, this is mine and it's brand new. Would you mind if I shoot it first? And the club supplies the ammo. So I grab a box and I look at it and I go, oh my God. I don't even know where they found this stuff, because I guess maybe I've seen it at some point, but I didn't even know you could buy this stuff. It's so for trap rounds now, I shoot handicap. I usually shoot 2 3/4 dram, 7.5 ounce and an eighth load. Pretty hot load for handicap shooting. Okay. When we're shooting money games, we'll start sometimes 35 yards. If you're the 4th or 5th gun, you're breaking that bird right before it hits the ground at 60 yards out, 70, I don't know. So you need some oomph to get out there, right? Anyhow, that's what I set everything up for. So, okay, I've seen 2 3/4 dram loads. These were like 2 1/4 dram, I think. I'm like, oh my God, how slow are these things? And I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. None of the guns are going to work. So I loaded in the Beretta and I shoot 5 rounds with some poppers, and it ran just great right out of the box. And I thought, I'll try it in a Vepper. I load them in. Don't you know that thing ran them perfect? I'm like, wow, holy cow, this thing runs. So we got that Vepper just dialed. I mean, it'll shoot powder puff loads. Incredible. And all I got to do is switch one spring out, and slugs and buckshot are perfect in it. So not a big deal. It's worked out really nice. So we do the Vepper, and then we did the VR80. That VR80, guys, we talked here that they're available now. If you want to, I mean, they're inexpensive. They're $5.99. And that's a hell of a gun. Guys treated it like a cheap Turkish gun, but if you're looking for a tactical shotgun that works and is all metal and just a nice gun, it's holding up because guys are running high round counts through it in 3-gun. It's become a 3-gun favorite. Something Arms, starts with a D. They're doing their custom workup on them. And, you can they come with 5-round mags. There's 9-round mags, and there's 19-round mags. You can add a +2 follower, or you can just cut down the factory follower and add a shell to each one. So 10 and 20-round mags, plus there's drums. And because they're so popular now with 3-gun, there's big aftermarket support. There's handguards, there's triggers, there's trigger shoes, there's compensators, grips, extended mag releases, extended bolt releases, stocks, you name it, it's there. Not Destitute Arms, I can't remember the name of it. But they do their workup. They sell the whole gun with their whole once over on it, kind of like a Krebs gun, but shotgun. They're really nice, guys. For the money, you can't go wrong. If you're looking for something that holds a lot of rounds, that's cool. It has chokes. Just a nice gun for the money. Mags aren't bad, and they seem to be. At first, I was buying every mag I saw. Well, now there's 10-rounders everywhere. I see them at Farm and Fleet and different stuff. So if you're looking for a cheap gun and you want to have fun, grab one. They're a blast, and they work. So let's get to the chat here and see who the hell is in here. So just for the record, Orion Fixer was here again first, ahead of Joe, before I had my technical problems here. So Joe, that's twice in a row. I think Joe's letting you win, just so you know. He let me know he's feeling kind of bad for you. He felt left out. He's just being a bud like that. Anyhow, let's see. So Chase is here. Rush Hour. Yes, I can hear you now. He's back. Great. I I have a VR80. Should I put the heavy gas load? Okay, we went through that. You can run the light on anything 2 3/4 and anything 3-inch, the heavy gas ring. But if the gun will run 2 3/4 buckshot or slugs on the heavy ring, by all means run it. Less recoil, right? Faster follow-up shot. PSA, yes, that's where they're at. Rush paid $800 for his. That's not bad. I bought mine before anybody knew what the hell they were. And they're my most popular videos by far. There's guys clamoring for information. If any of you guys have an idea for videos on that VR80 or something you want to see or want to know how to do, give me a shout out here in the comments and I'll do it. Rock, there's no PSA. Yeah, so let's talk about that. They're building Tula AKs from kits. How many? How many do they have and what are they going for? Because I would really like a Tula built kit. And if they're doing them nice and doing them right, I wonder if they're bluing them or what they're doing. But I sure would like one. I'll get my hands on one of those if there's enough. Where'd you guys hear about it? I haven't heard about it. I'm shocked I didn't know. Do I have a Vepr 12? Yes, I do. Mine's a folding stock, by the way. For those of you that don't know, the Veprs came 3 ways, and they're built by Mollet in the Mollet factory. Mollet's the guys that the Russian company that built the RPKs, and these are solid guns, guys. They're not some Mahoop copy of something. They're the real Russian deal. So you can get fixed stock, you can get folding stock, which is a tubular stock with the folding mechanism. You can get a folding stock that's been tack welded in the corner. The zip, hit it with a Dremel, little crack with a small hammer, and boink, it's open. Then there's folders that they welded the entire seam. Good luck with that. I've never tried to open one up. Sure you could. I don't know how messed up it's going to look. And then there's some that look like folding stocks that are not folders. They're solid. So the last to sell, of course, were those that aren't folding. There's still some out there, though. They're around, and they haven't gone up crazy. The cheapest they ever were about $800, $700. I think that's where I bought mine at. And last time I looked, they were $1,200, $1,300, and I bet they're probably still close to that. They're a deal. If you can get your hands on one, when they are gone, that'll be a $3,000 shotgun easily. So whether you like it or want to make money, I'd grab one if I were you. They're cool. Very, 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 very cool. And lots of accessories, aftermarket parts. For that, check out Legion USA. A lot of cool Vepr parts. There's muzzle brakes for them. If you buy I haven't seen an original Mollet brake. If you look at my Vepr video, I give just about everything you need to do to get a Vepr to run the right way. Everything on there except a couple of secrets I held back, but everything I give on there, you should be able to get it running. There's a long version and a short version. If you're in for the long haul, you can watch the hour-long video. If not, I shortened one up, and it's pretty good. So check it out. You'll see them run, and you'll see all the aftermarket parts I put in the thing too. So it's a good video to check out. I hope you guys are faring better now. Yeah, my wife's doing a lot better. Now it seems like it's hitting me worse with my son, that whole thing. So I guess now that everybody else is good, now I can breathe, and now it's kind of affecting me a bit. So let's see. I purchased a Veterans Tactical Lower Receiver. I don't know if it's a good one for my build. What do you think? Okay. Let's talk about lower receivers, ARs. I assume you're talking about ARs. I have one. It's marked tactical something. It was all there was. Now, guys will know here and in my videos, I talked about it all the time. I hope some of you guys listened. Anytime you are purchasing a new firearm, whether it's a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun, they're doing a call-in, right? They're calling you in for your federal background check. lower receivers, even at the height of it, were what for a good solid like I don't know, name it, an arrow receiver. High end, $140, low end, $89. You're spending money on guns and you're doing a call in. Why would you not throw a receiver in with every purchase? Why wouldn't you do that? $100, throw it on top. One call in, no hassles. You take your new gun or your receiver home. You take the new gun to the range. You take the receiver and put it on the shelf for a rainy day. I've done that for years. I have. I'm not even going to get into how many receivers there are. I quit build. I used to, when a rainy day, I'd build something. I quit doing it because I don't know what to build anymore. There's nothing left to build. And I still got more, but I always figure something out. Get a receiver. Anyhow, you're asking about this particular brand. With rare exception, have I found receivers that are junk. They all come off the same CAD files. They all buy the same forgings, and rarely do you get one that's messed up. Not to say it doesn't happen, but it's not, 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, maybe now you don't see much. Matter of fact, this one, it's RC. I can't remember what it was, Reflex Arms or Reflex, recoil something. I put it with a arrow upper, and it fits better than a lot of other receivers I've had. So don't worry about it. Put it together. Don't worry about names. Doesn't matter. Unless you're building some super high-end billet where they're matching upper and lower. Yeah, good, great, wonderful. But guess what? The other ones go bang too. If you're building an M4, a pistol, or this, put it together. Forget about it. Don't even worry about it. Chris, since last I visited my mom and returned with my late father's most prized shotguns, Browning's, nice, Satori, special sporting clays over and under, and 1967 coated A5 Light 12. Gonna put the Light 12 to work. Hell yeah, why not? What's better than a Model 12, right? Nice. Awesome, you got those. And they're mint too. Cool. Handle both pieces. Yeah, I shot Satori's back in the day, trap shooting for a little while. Seemed to be the thing for a while. I got away from them. I don't know. I don't have many Brownings anymore at all. Not that I like Brownings. They're great guns. But don't have many. Damn internet conked on my end. Joe's gave up. Thank God it wasn't mine. I agree, Orion took my dad most of his life, finally buy the Satori. Satori is such a nice gun. That's a high-end gun. Satori really, Dissident Arms, that's the name of it. I haven't seen one in person. They supposedly build an awesome VR80. Well, okay. They're not that complicated. They add some of their parts, and there it is. And there's a huge upcharge on it. Not sure I would pay it, but if you want something like that and you're not inclined to do it yourself, sure, use them. I will give them this. They've come out with a lot of the aftermarket parts for it. So they take the time to design them and all that. God bless them. Everybody needs to make a little money. PSA put out a video on the tools, I hope. I got to watch it. VR80 and how reliable it is with mixed ammo. VR80 with mixed ammo. So, Joe, I'm glad you asked. I had a box, and I mean a box of, inside the box were smaller boxes of shotgun shells mixed from put it this way, there were Sears Roebuck Ted Williams paper shells in there, right? Ted Williams, double A's, anything you can imagine was in this box. And I jumbled it. I took them out of the box, dumped them all in, mixed them up, and loaded them in the mags, threw a mag in, and went to town. Bam, 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 bam. It all ran, every bit of it. They'll run anything. They shoot really, really well. It's by far, without the work I did on my Vepr, by far more reliable than the Vepr as far as shooting light loads goes. Easily more reliable. Much less work, trust me. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see. Okay, if Joe is letting me win. Oh, that's what we talked about. I've been having more troubles lately with the damn internet. Yeah, it's the government. It's the government. They're watching you, Joe. I don't even want to get into that tonight. I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood for that crap. Sickening is all I'll say. That's what I think. They're important, cool. This on the endangered species list. Yeah, who knows? They could cut out Turkish shotguns, right? And you know what got shotguns so popular all of a sudden? Like, forget about like the Beretta 1301. That's got boom. That took off like a rocket ship, right? But remember 2-3 months ago, you'd walk in a gun shop or a big box store that sold guns. And what was on the shelves? Nothing except cheap Turkish shotguns. Shops you saw that never had them before, all of a sudden had 12 different models, bullpups, AR ones, AR pump ones, all kinds of stuff. It's all they could get. There was a boatload of those, so they bought them up, and then people bought them up, and they've gotten popular. And that's kind of cool because in a way it'll show which ones are good and which ones aren't, right? Because guys started buying them, guys that would have normally walked right by, not even looked at that stuff. Now, I got mine before all this happened, and I walked into a huge gun store, actually down south, down in Illinois, and they had this VR80 on the wall, and I said, "What is that?" And I saw Rock Island, so I was, oh, let me see that. And on the wall, it looked plastic. Like I'm expecting this plastic junk shotgun. And he hands it to me, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, it's all metal, and just incredible. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm buying it, but it looks cool. So, okay, I'll take it home. Boy, am I glad I got it. It's just so much fun, and it's really nice. Important, cool. That's not, yeah. Yep. Let's see. This is a great idea. That is a great idea. What's a great idea? Denny's plant-based. What did I say? That's a great idea. Or weren't you talking to me? I was going to get my damn receiver, but I had a bunch of medical crap come up. Yeah, I know. It's always money. Ted Williams shells were crunchy when I was a kid. They're still crunchy. Trust me. I got a Ted Williams fishing reel and rod still. I got a lot of that. Sears was my family's store. That's, we were the average middle class family, and you got your tough skin. You guys remember tough skin jeans? You guys remember those? They were so tough. I'll tell you how tough they were. First of all, you never got a hole in them because even on cement, you could drag your knees across cement, but they would rub a hole in your knee from the inside. They were so rough. Oh my God. You'd put on a new pair. Your legs would be bright red that night when you went to bed because they just so rough. Yeah, and they had those huge, they looked from the outside, it looked like you had a giant patch from your shin to your thigh because they double backed them or something. And I think they had a guarantee. If your kid can put a hole in the knee, they'll give you a new pair. Oh my God. My mother used to dress us in those things. That should be child abuse. They came in. I had green, red. Oh yeah, 70s, man, catch it. Hey. Probably are watching me means I'm doing my job. Yes, it does, sir. I'm sure we are all on. Oh, fuck. Oop, did I say that? Sorry. I'm on way too many lists. I'm sure. I don't mean any harm. I think they know that. I think they get a kick out of it after a while. What's the dumbass going to do today, right? I wonder if they play it back like funny radio shows. Like, listen, you got to hear this part. Maybe they get a kick out of us. Who knows? Denny, buying a receiver with other. Yeah, it is a great idea. It just... Here, because when you need one, you don't got one, or something happens like a shortage or whatever. It's not, whatever it is, the cheapest one they got or the nicest one. Plan on $100, $150. Every purchase, put it in. It's one call in. That's the great thing. One call in. right? It's already going in. Put it in. Because you can, and then uppers, when they go on sale, buy uppers, buy stripped uppers, buy complete uppers. I buy the complete uppers, just stockpile them. Anything, good ones, bad ones, PSA, whatever. Those, because guys, they're going to be serialized one of these days. Then now order them to your house. Bam, there they are. Closet full of them. You'll always sell them. Here, think about if you had those lowers, like I said, and a bunch of uppers. Think about what you could have made in the last year on those. Think about that one. And then when ammo goes up, guess what? Trade all those, because you don't need them. They're just extra. Trade all those, cash, ammo. Now you kept pace with ammo inflation. Genius, right? I'm thinking, see? I crack myself up sometimes. Buying receiver with other ideas, being able to build parts and supplies for down the road, a practical way. Yes. Always, always, always. Just add one. Don't even think about it. I remember Sears when I was a kid, but that's funny, Joe. You said Sears, and in my head, I'm thinking Auto Sears. I'm like, I remember those too. At the gun shows, there'd be fish bowls full of them. But you meant Sears Roebuck. Jesus, this is a sickness, isn't it? When I was a kid, but I wasn't around when they still sold guns. My dad, oh yeah. So my first gun, 870 Wingmaster, right? Gorgeous gun. And by the way, it's like the day I bought it. It's gorgeous. My second gun, my personal second gun as a kid, my 16th birthday, Winchester Model 94 3030, purchased from Kmart. Okay, Kmart. And it was in a sales flyer. You guys aren't even going to believe this when I tell you. $99. All blued, walnut stock, gorgeous, gorgeous gun. It was 19... Oh, shoot. Had to be 82, 81, 80, 81, 82, somewhere in there. I still have the original box. It's red, white, and blue striped. I still have the gun. It's immaculate. I had one day I took it out of the safe and there was a couple freckles on the receiver, light enough to wear just 4-aught steel wool and gone. So, but it's perfect. Not a scratch in the stock, and it's not from not using it. I hunted like nuts with it, and I just take care of my stuff. Even when I'm hunting, if I'm walking through brush, I'm covering that gun. That's just how I was raised. Cover it from the rain, cover it from the, and it's been in the rain, it's been in the snow, it's been everywhere. And it's killed a lot of deer, that gun. I'm going to bring you a video on that. I'm going to shoot that video tonight. I love that gun, and I haven't had a safe in a while. I love lever actions. God, it's so much fun to talk about some of this stuff other than, don't get me wrong. I love AKs, but to talk about my original guns and everything, so much fun. And I love it. Man, I got to bring my lever actions out. You guys are going to love it. Oh, I got some cool lever actions. There might even be a John Wayne in there somewhere. Let's see. Rock, if you ever sell off uppers or lowers at a deal, I want in. Well, hey, let's talk about this one, guys. I passed 5,000 subscribers. I hit 3,000. I went from 1,000 to 3, like, bam. We were on fire, right? And then the algorithm just shut us down. I can watch the curve in my statistics for no reason at all. Just shoom. And it took forever. Finally hit 5,000. And I promised you guys I would do a giveaway. Now, I'm behind a bit. I have number 3 in my favorite AKs video ready to go. But the day I shot it, I watched it today, and I was shocked. I sound like a robot rattling the stuff off. And here we got a Vepr, it's got this, and a Vepr ram, blah, 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 blah. It's horrible. It's like I'm not even into it. I'm like a trained monkey. maybe just because I know so much about them, but it sounds like I'm disinterested, not excited in them, and I can't put it out. I don't know what happened that day, but it was back when everything was hot and heavy and no good. So anyways, the third one's on my Vepers. So maybe I'll just doctor it up a bit and put it out. Then we got 2 more, and then we're going to do the contest. Okay. I got to call Mark Krebs this week. I keep saying it and I just haven't had time, and we're going to do the giveaway. Don't worry. I'm going to get stuff to you guys. And we'll get the contest together, and maybe we'll do it live on here. We'll see. I don't know if I can do that. I got to look at the rules and see. But yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we'll put some AR stuff in there too. I don't know. Denny's playing. I picked up a Typhoon Defense X12 mag fed shotgun. So the Typhoon mags fit the VR80 as well, and vice versa. It's the same mag. Have several Stogers and love them. Stogers are nice. They make a couple. I was looking at those hot and heavy for a pheasant gun. They made a really cool side-by-side I wanted. And then I ended up getting the CZ. Just a lot of fun, and having a 10-round mag or several makes it good. Aren't they fun? They are such a blast. The coolest thing, go watch my video. It's my son's favorite guns. And at the end, after the end of Rockford Ordnance, the music, all that, there's an outtake after it of him shooting a VR80. And it actually kind of blows him back, and he's laughing. And I said, pretty incredible, huh? He goes, ridiculous or something. He's laughing. It's just the funnest gun to shoot. So much fun. Joe, now I remember Kmart Guns and Ammo. My dad and I used to get 45 seasonally when they put it on closeout. Yep. Kmart had guns. Walmart had guns, of course. Sears. I wonder if JCPenney's ever did. Then there was Western Auto. What other kind of... Did Ben Franklin, you guys ever have Ben Franklin stores? I think those were like dime stores. I don't think they had guns. But I do know a lot of... my dad has one of the highlights of his collection. He was a big Colt single action collector. He has a C engraving Colt single action done by Colt's master engraver, Alvin White. And the gun was ordered at a local hardware store near us where I grew up. And we didn't find that out till later. He bought the gun. We contacted Colt Historical Society. They sent a letter, and it was shipped to Best Hardware, which was right by it. It was a True Value at that point, I think. And that's where the gun was originally sold. And that's probably a gun well in excess of $10,000 now. Maybe a lot more than that. I don't know. It's put it this way. It's an auction gun. That gun would go to RIA or one of the auction houses if it was sold. But yeah, you could get them at a hardware store. And no background checks, no nothing. You walked in, you put your cash on the table, you walked out with your gun. That's not that long ago, guys. Not that long ago. Your fathers remember it for sure. It's what we've done over these years, and what we've allowed to erode is sickening, to tell you the truth. And there's no more murders now than there were back then. You know, now I'm good with a background check, I guess. But other than that, if you're not a felon, it needs to go back to the way it used to. You used to be able to walk in and buy a Thompson right over the counter. Anything you wanted, full automatic. It doesn't matter. Back in the day, I'll bet they didn't even pay much attention to select fire, because I bet nobody in the 20s, 30s, especially 40s, nobody was firing full auto because they couldn't afford it. And aimed fire is way, way better. It's like some European countries that have no drinking age. My wife spent a lot of her formative years in Switzerland. And in her family, they never thought about turning 21 and going out and partying because alcohol was on the table every night. It was no big deal. And I believe a lot of it's the same thing. If it went back to that, nobody would, there'd be an initial rise and then nothing. It'd be same old, same old. But, everybody's got to get in everybody's business is the problem. Let's see. My first gun, Orion, bought for me. It always is, right? Because you're underage and your dad's getting you something, or your mom, whoever. Ooh, a Remington 1100. Let me tell you my 1100 story. LT in 20 gauge. Still have it, and it's mint. Bought it at Kmart, 1978, $230. Love it. Christmas gift from my wife. Wow, that's an awesome story. So I got my 870, right? And it was a B grade. And I tell the story in the video you'll see right after this, but it was at a local gun shop in a high-end North Shore suburb of Chicago. The North Shore area of Chicago is very ritzy, okay, for the most part. Anyhow, this gun shop was a good friend of my dad's. They shot together. They did class 3 stuff together. They flew all over the place in his private plane to shoots and all kinds of stuff. Anyhow, the main showroom of the gun store, and off to the one side was a small size of a closet, a big closet, a walk-in closet. And it had the upper crust hunting arms and stuff in there, trap guns. I remember Weatherby's in there when Weatherby was Weatherby, not the bullshit it is now. But all the high-end guns, safari guns, like stuff for Cape Buffalo and that. Because guys that lived in this area had the money to do those things. High-end trap guns, Parazzis, Ludix, all that kind of stuff. And for whatever reason, my lowly 870 was in there. But I'll tell you what, I say lowly 870. But when you see this gun in the video, this is probably one of the nicest 870s you'll ever see. The wood is swirled, and it's just beautiful. So it was in there, and I'd go look, and that's the gun I wanted for trap and hunting. I figured I'd get that gun, and then I'd buy a 28-inch field barrel, of course, blued like the Wingmaster, for pheasant hunting. Never got around to saving enough money for the 28-inch barrel, but I would have loved it. But anyhow, it was in there, and they were in a gun rack all the way around the room, but it was raised gun rack. So the bottom where the butt sat was probably about here. It was almost here because I was younger, as a kid. And at the bottom of each buttstock, because they're sitting in there on the buttstock, at the bottom of it was the price. And I remember to this day, and I confused myself because it was either $315 or $325. I want to say $315, and I had the price tag forever. I had peeled it off and saved it. I have the original box, everything. And I'd go look at that gun when I'd be in there. My dad would be in there shooting the bull with the other guys, and I'd be in there looking at my shotgun and saving my money. And one day I walked in, and it wasn't there. And I double checked everything. It's not in there. I turned to run out of there to tell my dad it's gone, and he's got it on the counter in the box, and he said, "Happy birthday." So I got it. He said, "Use your money for a case and this and that." So that's what I did. But I remember that room, and it smelled like steel and oil and that manufacturing smell and leather, and God, I'm there now today. And that lever action 94 and all those things. It's so cool, those first guns and the stories they bring up. And that's why I did that video, because look, now you got, let me get to that 1100. So my dad brings home 2 C grade Remingtons, a C grade 870, which when we compared it to my gun was nicer. The wood was nicer, everything. And then a C grade 1100 trap. And I thought, being a high roller, right? Got my 870, I'm trap shooting, all that. I said, I need the matching 1100 to my gun. Well, my dad owned them, so I didn't have to buy it. It was there, but then he sold it eventually. So I never really shot it much. I don't know. I don't like automatics for trap. Doesn't sit well with me. My dad shot a Beretta a lot for trap automatic, but usually his Parazzis, and I never liked automatics. But yeah, 1100 is cool gun. I don't know why. I guess they sold well, but I think other things outdid them. But I think the 1100 didn't. I don't know. It just, you never seem to see a ton of them, and they were great guns. Let's see here. Where'd we go here? Yeah, the 1120 gauge. Bought a Marlin 60 at Gibson's in 1984. I left it at my parents' house when I moved and went to college. Someone broke in and stole it. Later, I bought another, and it's in my safe now. Well, at least you got one. What do you think about the bullpup shotgun and the M&P 12? Won't it? What? Are you talking about that M&P shotgun that's coming out? I watched a couple tests on it. I have not seen one up close. I will say this. If it's got Smith & Wesson on it, it's probably a pretty darn good gun, or as good as a bullpup shotgun can be. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't mind checking one out. Thoughts on today's world? Will there be dark times coming to America? Massive shortages. Man. I hope not, because that means these will be in short supply, and it's the one thing I have left in life I love. Guys, it's truly, I hate to use this word, but unprecedented. We're seeing crazy stuff. I mean, I'm in the car business, and the chips, and there's nothing to be had. I called a dealer next to me, Mercedes dealer, and they got 3 cars in stock. And my buddy who runs one of the biggest Toyota dealers around has 11. They sell 500 cars a month, new. They have 11 cars in stock. Our Hyundai dealer has 6 cars in stock. Crazy. It's crazy. And now they're starting to push the projections out to 2023. So the used car market, I buy used cars every week at the auction, wherever I can get them. Now, normally I try not to at auction. Try to take them in trade, but when you don't have new cars to sell, you don't get trades. So you go to auction, and right now used cars are literally, some of them I'm purchasing at auction higher than MSRP. A 2020 with 6,000, 8,000 miles. Higher, I, the dealer, am paying over MSRP, what that car originally listed for. I'm paying more for the used one than a new one. So imagine what it's selling for then. And people are going, well, why would I do that? Well, because there's nothing. What are you going to buy? Used 19 or used 20 right now at 6,000 miles? That's the new car of today. There are no new cars. I shouldn't say that. There's some, but they're very far and few between. And most dealers, the few they have, they're getting at least MSRP. And in our area, some are paying as much as 10,000 over sticker for a new car. I'd bet 3,000 over sticker is average, somewhere in there. My store, we're at MSRP. I won't go dime below. I just won't. But I won't sell over MSRP either. So it's nuts. So when you take that into consideration, and now the microchips will start affecting other industries, especially durable goods, washers, dryers, microwaves, anything that uses TVs, anything that uses a microchip, right? What I will tell you guys to do is, there's been a bit of a rebound in supply chain stuff. There's a little ammo out there. There's certainly a lot of guns out there. There's optics. Optics were not, you couldn't find a red dot to save your life. If you need red dots, go buy them. Go buy them right now. I promise you. They'll be gone soon enough. I've been buying red dots like by the case. It's crazy. any that kind of stuff, just buy. You could say, well, I'm going to wait for the price to go down. And all you need is one thing to happen and it's higher. In the grand scheme of things, 10 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, it doesn't mean shit come something happen. Just grab it. Figure later you'll get someone that's cheaper and it's a cost averaging thing. Don't worry about it. Do you ever remember 10 years later what you paid for something and if it was too much money? I mean, come on. It's not like it's $500 more or something. Get what you need now, especially if you need to update something electronic wise, durable goods wise. I would do it. I wouldn't stretch yourself and do it on credit. For sure, I would not do that. But if you need it, get it. I do certain things just because I do, and I don't do it because all of a sudden YouTube's filled with stuff, but I always keep 30, 40 gallons of gas on hand. But I got a lot of stuff to feed. I got big mowers, I got generators, I got side-by-sides and quads and motorcycles. And so I can cycle it out, but I always try to keep 30 to 50 gallons of fuel on hand. I keep my motorhome in the driveway with the 80-gallon tank filled at all times. When things get a little scary, I don't wait till I'm down to a quarter tank to refill. I refill at a quarter tank if I can. You plan ahead, some of the foodstuffs and staples, I'll buy extra and just make sure I have a few weeks on hand, of water, canned goods, things that last, coffee, stuff like that. And that's not because I think something's is imminent. It's because why not? It makes me feel a bit safer. And if I can feel safer and that my family will be okay, then I'm good with that. Because what am I going to do? What do you do when, your family's hungry, and there's nothing? It make you feel pretty good that you got a little something, something. Whatever the case may be. Is there something? I don't know. It sure is crazy out there. I can't, for the life of me, make heads or tails of some of this political stuff. It's nuts. I don't get this bashing of America and our ways. We're talking about our first guns, right? And by the age group in here, a lot of us, you see, we're talking about 1980s guns, right? Early 1980s, late 70s. At the time, you thought, man, I wish I could have had this older stuff or whatever. But now look, guys, those guns are classics to us. And now you look back, you grab like my 870 from 1979. And back then we thought craftsmanship is gone. Everything's being made in Japan and da-da-da. Now we look back and go, look at the bluing on these things. We didn't know how good we had it. I would give anything to go back to the 1980 right now. Anything. Back then they said, oh, I wish it was the 50s, Well, let me tell you something. The 80s was a pretty good time, I must say. Great time to grow up. There was, in my opinion, a great mood in the country, especially the Reagan years. It was a good time to be alive. You talk about 80s glam rock and heavy metal and all that. And you think back to that music, and it was all upbeat and fun. Think of Van Halen, Jump, and all that stuff, right? Bon Jovi, Poison, all these bands. And man, it was just nothing but a good time, right? And that's what the 80s literally were. And a lot of people today will say, well, it's because of you boomers or just past boomers that wasted away all the money in the 80s. That wasn't true. Nothing was different. Families still saved. If anything, they were more frugal than they are today. That's a fact. I can promise you. It was a great time. It really was. And families were solid. It was a good time. It really was. And today I don't know what's happened. And I want to hope and say that every generation that hits my age does that, but I don't think so. We've never seen anything like this. And where is it going? I don't know. What worries me? The border a lot. That's just got to stop. That might come down to the people stopping that. I remember last time this crap was happening, not to this magnitude, but there were people that actually went down there and tried stopping it. And maybe that should be now. I don't know. After all, it's our country, right? And we just want them to do it legally. We will always take people with open arms, but the right way. That's all. So maybe that's what we got to do. I don't know, but it's scary. You're inherently changing the demographics of our country and that kind of stuff. But I said I wasn't going to talk about that, and I'm not. The reason I'm not talking about it is because you're asking me what I think about it. You're asking me because you're worried about it. Am I worried about it? Yes, I am. Absolutely. Do I think there's something coming? Yeah, I think there's something coming. More so than I've ever thought before, just because it's moving at hyperspeed. Think about it. It's been not even a year, guys. Not even a year. It seems like it's been a decade, right? And the lawsuits and the attacks on stuff, and it's insane. Enough of that. So that's why I'm not talking about it, because I've had it up to here lately, and yeah, I'm worried, and I'm doing something about it. As far as getting ready. So I would recommend you do too. Let's see. So my HR 922 revolver I have was $15 at Western Auto. That was it. They sold, they had shotguns, branded. Yeah, cool. Western Auto was cool. That was kind of like a Ben Franklin sort of hardware store. There are less murders now. Absolutely, there are. They'd like to skew the statistics, and they always say gun deaths. Well, the biggest thing in gun deaths in those FBI statistics are suicides. Take out suicides, and the murder rate is nil. I mean, it's really, when you think about the overall population, it's nothing. And then look at how many of those gun deaths occurred but with rifles, and it's that much. And then check out how many happened with AR-15s. Guess what? There is no statistic. There's an asterisk because it's so infinitesimal, they can't even qualify the number. So it doesn't happen. So why are you all over this black gun thing, right? Why? Because it's the scary thing. Because I'll tell you why. Because it's it's what equalizes us and militaries around the world, including our own. It equalizes us, and that's not a good thing to them. You can't be equal. You can't fight back. Well, no, that's why it's there. It has nothing to do with hunting, guys. Nothing to do with hunting. It has everything to do with overcoming a tyrannical government. It has everything to do with shooting a tyrant in the face. That's what it has to do with. And that's what the Second Amendment was about. Remember that. It has nothing to do with hunting. Now, personal protection, protecting my wife and child. I don't know why we like to say that. That's inherent in it. Inherent. You don't need to say, I need it for personal protection. No, you don't. You need it for protection against tyranny. The rest is inherent in that statement. Stop it with, even the concealed carry, all that. It's not for personal protection and protecting your wife and child and your homestead. It's about protection from tyranny and protecting our Constitution. That's what it's about. And that's all we should talk about. We shouldn't talk about personal protection, concealed carry, all of that. If you want to, that's fine. But at the base, at the core of it, is protection from tyranny. That's why it was put there. They didn't think about intruders in the night, this and that. It had nothing to do with that. Back in the day, they could carry something anywhere they wanted to, right? So it's inherent. It means it's part of it. There's no doubt that's part of it. Protection against tyranny. That's the last I'll say about that. So yeah, less murders now. Forget about all the other statistics, rifles, all that. Just take the suicides out of it, and it's infinitesimal. Abercrombie and Fitch used to sell guns. Yeah, well, you know what Abercrombie and Fitch is, right? Nobody knows. That's a very good point. Very good point. K-Dog, why don't you comment on that? Tell them what Abercrombie and Fitch used to do. Yes, they did sell guns. Why am I blurry again? Look at this. There, we're in focus, right? Man, it's focusing all the way in here. You can see my wrinkly ass hands. And then pull out, and it's gone. I don't know why it's not focusing. You don't want to see me that close, do you? I wish it would focus. I think it's got something to do with these lights glaring. Anyhow, stock up. Yes, sir. Whatever it is, stock up. I got to go back here a little bit. It jumped on me. Remington 1100 has been my go-to dove hunting shotgun since I was a kid. First one was my dad's, and then my grandfather's, and then they got me one because I got tired of borrowing theirs. Yeah. Come to think of it, an 1100 is a great dove gun, and for fast-moving birds like that, hell yeah, that'd be a great gun. Hold on, I'm going to shut these lights off real quick, guys. I'm going to do like 2AEDU does. Give me a 10-second break, okay? Didn't help, did it? No, it's worse. Holy Christ. What is with the focus on this thing? Come on. This thing's got to focus. I don't know what the hell is going on with it. Am I making you dizzy? Bugs me. I got it. It looks like, I bought a very expensive mic, and it bugs me that this mic took a crap, and now this camera took a crap. But my wife got upset with me and took down my whole computer rig because it's sitting here in the middle of the family room. And I don't know if she bumped something, did something, but there, now it focused. Weird. But yeah, nothing's working right on it. Let's see here. I love going to the comments, guys. I hope I'm not boring you, but Wingmaster TB, that's a trap B grade. That's what mine is, TB. As a kid, rebuilt it with a chop stock to an old police gun out of original parts. Oh, that poor gun. You chopped it up, Joe. What a gorgeous gun. Lost Boy Scout. Let's go, Brandon. Who's Brandon? I don't know who Brandon is. Who's Brandon? Is there a Brandon in here? I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me what he's talking about. That's terrible. You guys have the troubles with cars, yet the damn ships are sitting waiting with parts. Well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. Yeah, they can't get enough trucks. You can't get enough people. I can't find employees, guys. I can't find lot attendants. I can't find detail people. It's $15 an hour. They go, well, I got to think about it. You got to think about what? $16. I don't know. I'll let you know. Okay, you let me know. Gee, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You can get up here in Wisconsin, we got Quick Trip gas stations. They're wonderful. They have bakeries in them, all kinds of stuff. They offer, I think, $15.50 or $16.50 to start with a $500 signing bonus and shift differential if you work third shift of like $2. So you can take a job at a gas station, make $18.50 an hour and a $500 signing bonus at a gas station. I started working for my uncle in the gas station for $3.50 an hour. When I went to $5, I was a high roller, and I was actually a apprentice mechanic at $5 an hour. Unbelievable. Different times, I know, but it's just insane. My wife's a nurse, doesn't make all that much more than $17.50 an hour. Yeah, those 30, 35 an hour. They're in the low 20s, guys. And depends if you take benefits or not. But yeah, so you're telling me a nurse is should be close in salary to a gas station attendant / cook? I don't know. I don't know. When I saw the industry go to China, I said the shortages were coming. It's the problem. We need to bring it back here, guys. They got big problems too. Look at this. What is it? Evergreen or something like that. They're propping that up too. Wait till it all pops. The problem is I don't know where the safe place is. You know, stocks have been going up, but now that's kind of faltering. So you think as a note, I'm not a financial guy. Well, when stocks go bad, bonds do well. Do you go to bonds? No. Why would you buy bonds in a company whose stock is faltering? Because they kind of go together. If anything, I read a little bit the other night, and I learned that the bonds will foretell the story of a company long before the stock will. So where do you put it? Do you put it in the bank? No, because can you trust the dollar anymore? You know, what happens when hyperinflation kicks in? Do you go to gold or silver? Well, what happened in the Great Depression? They called all the gold in and they set the price. Where would you get rid of it? What can you trade it? Can you, they track everything. Bitcoin, what are you going to do with that? They outlawed it in China. They're tracking it here now. I don't know, maybe some of you guys know more than I do about that, but is there a digital currency that's safe that can't be tracked? Let me know. I'd like to know. And what's a good wallet to use? I want to buy some of it. I just don't know what to buy and where to put it and how to do it. Let's say, how do you move, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 into one of these wallets without anything being tracked? I guess you don't. I don't know. Maybe if you guys know, let me know. It'd be an interesting conversation. Joe was a 90s kid. Hey, 90s were great too, but that foretold the downfall of it all with grunge. I'm pissing people off now. But think about it. We went from happy rock and roll to meow, 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 they all had that song, the same Nirvana stuff, Oh my God. It's like, I listen to Nirvana and all I hear is, I'm depressed, shoot me in the head, I don't know. I'm just kidding, but it was nothing like the 80s. Hell, even the recession was better than this. I had, sir, yes, you're right. It was better. Think about that. Let's say 15 years ago, even the early 2000s, we had $300 AKs, all the ammo we could shoot, 7.6. We had everything. I'd go back to that. I'd trade it for that. All the way to 08, I'd trade it. Even after 08, it wasn't all that bad. It's the last 10 years. I don't know. It's just terrible. But the good news is there's still a lot of guns out there and there's still ammo. We can still go bang. For how long? I don't know. We'll see. I'm from southern Wisconsin, Janesville area. No kidding. Well, you're not far. We should get together sometime, man. I want to have a shoot somewhere, guys. If one of you guys can recommend something, anywhere between southern Wisconsin and northern Wisconsin, probably better off to do southern Wisconsin, because then a lot of Illinois people and friends of mine from down there can come. And I know we got some people from there here. Like to get together at a range one day and to have a meetup, just have a good time. If we can put that together. I know 2A EDU was talking about doing one in Michigan. I'd go to Michigan for one, but it'd be cool to do one on this side of Lake Michigan too. So anywhere between the northern tip of Wisconsin, obviously the closer north is good for me, or the further north is good for me. But I travel all over the state, so I'd do it anywhere. I'd go as far south as, well, I don't even know what's around Madison, but I knew a little bit of the south end of Wisconsin and Janesville and all that, because I lived not far over the border, south of Janesville, south of Rockford. And that's, my son actually came up with the name when he was really little. And we were talking about it for a gun shop, and then it ended up, I did the channel back then. So we used it for that. And I thought it was a good idea, but now it's not that I don't live there. So the Rock sounds kind of cool. And we may be closer to our FFL guys. I don't know what I should do. If it should be Rockford Ordnance, or if it should be Rock Armory. I don't know. I got to come up with something. Anyhow, let's see. I think peso is worth more now. Maybe. Go Google it, bud. You'll be rolling. What am I going to roll? Where'd it go? What were you talking about? Oh, go Google Let's Go Brandon. Is that what you're talking about, Last Boy Scout? I'll have to do it if that's what you're talking about. They want track all bank accounts that are spending 6 or more. I even heard lower than that, but I think I was talking to my mom. She said 600 too. Amazing, isn't it? 600. 100 spends like a 20. So you want to essentially track anything over $120. Craziness, right? Forefathers said every male 18 to 40 needs to have equal to military weapons and a good supply of ammo and be ready to deploy. Yep. So anyhow, we were talking about shotguns. And I said the influx of these Turkish guns. Seems to me like there's 2 or 3 makers of all these Turkish guns, and they just slap different names on them. There's the bullpups and the AR-looking guns and all of that stuff. And the higher-end Turkish stuff, like CZ is all Turkish. They get them from there. Decent guns, really nice. Much nicer than they used to be even just a few years ago. But I got a feeling that the importer can spec anything he wants with them, from low-end, slap them out, to nicely finished quality guns. So it's just a matter of that. But I'm going to drop this video here when we're done in a few minutes. Just wanted to go over that and talk about maybe some of your first guns and things that you have fond memories of. And that's what the video turned into. I do go into how I took care of that extended mag tube. And here's a cool one. I'll let you guys in on this. Because you won't see a lot of shooting at the beginning. There is some shooting. I do some cool stuff with clay targets, just whacking them real quick. And I'm kind of raving about the cheap gun. And I had just shot 10 birds real quick. And I pull the gun up. I go, wow, this thing is really, the front sight blew right off the gun. And you won't see that till further toward the end. And there, it's soldered on, and it came right off. And I found the sight, and I show it in the video, and you'll see some corrosion on there. So what happened was they didn't clean it well enough. You have to, it's like soldering a pipe, guys. You got to clean both ends perfectly. Once they're clean, acetone, and then you have to tin both sides, meaning a super thin coating of solder. And you don't want to use soft solder. You want silver solder. So it's a black gun, and where the sight came off, it was unpainted, obviously. So I cleaned that area really well because I didn't want to have to refinish the barrel. Cleaned it really well. Acetone, solder, flux, And then I heated the flux, and when it gets hot enough and it's bubbling, starting to bubble away, you put the solder on there, a few drops, and then smear it a little with the solder, tip of the solder. Now, here's the key. While you're still holding the heat on it, have a piece of steel wool ready, and here's the key to that. You can't pull it right out of the package. You have to clean the steel wool in acetone because steel wool has oil on it from the factory to keep it from rusting in the package. Clean the steel wool with acetone. Keep that solder hot. So you got a puddle there, right? And while it's hot, just pull the flame away and then take that steel wool and swipe real quick, like you're wiping it quick with a paper towel. Light, quick, boom. Smears it dead ass perfect. Looks like a mirror. I mean, it's perfection like a mirror. The cool thing is when you smear it, you think it'll get all over the finish of the gun. No, solder does not stick to any type of finish, whether it's bluing, paint, whatever, does not stick to it. So boom, you got this perfect thing. Now it's tinned. By tinned, they mean a super thin, perfect layer of solder. You do that on the barrel. You do it on the sight. Now, next step, you've got them tinned. You're going to now attach the two. And what you do is you have to clamp them together. So get your sight in place on the barrel. Well, I should step back one. Before I tinned it, wrapped the barrel in a thin paper and then wrapped it in emery cloth. And then I slid the sight back and forth. So I essentially sanded in the perfect contour of the barrel, right? So they meet perfectly. It was already done because it had been mounted once, but I figured if there's anything left on there or they made a mistake, and that's why that corrosion was in there, I made it perfect. Tinned it. Now I'm ready to put them together. So you line it up where you want it. And I double checked their work, but I wanted it right where they had put it so I wouldn't have to refinish the barrel. Lined it up. Now you have to clamp them. You can't use a C-clamp. Here's why. The point to the whole thing is when you have them clamped, now you're heating it, you're trying to melt that solder that's on there. And when it gets to the melting point, you're going to see it drop. Just a tiny, a fraction of a millimeter. As that melts, it's going to just smush that silver a little bit and it'll come out the sides. You won't even notice it really. I mean, you'll see it barely moving, a tiny bit of seepage. It just melted and sunk and it's connected now. Well, if you put a static clamp on there, like a C-clamp, it will hold the pressure while it's cold. But when you heat it and it squishes, it's going to be loose, right? It's not going to allow it to go down. So you need a spring clamp. So when it does drop, the spring pressure stays the same. I have one where it's counterweighted and all for over the barrel. It's a gunsmith's specific tool. They're kind of expensive. I guess the best way, and it depends on the sight and the size of it, but this being a fairly good size sight, you can use just one of those spring clamps. Looks like a big pliers, And what I did on this one at least, on the wood clamps, they come together like this. So I bent each side up like this, so it came to a V, and then I bent the tips of them about ½ inch of it up and flat. So they met like this and then V'd out. So kind of just how my arms are here. Flat, and then they V'd out. Just hammered it on a vise flat, so they met perfect. Clamped it, the barrel and the sight, heated it up, watched it go swoosh, and waited about 30 seconds, pulled the clamp off. Any silver solder that came out the sides, you can simply, once it cools, take your fingernail and zip or anything, boom, it comes right off. Matter of fact, a glob of solder went down onto the mag tube, and I literally just went pink, and it doesn't stick. And re-oiled everything, and it's perfect. It's better than they did. With some practice, it's not hard, guys. It's one of those things that it's a job a gunsmith likes because it's easy. You can make time doing those jobs. It's like an auto mechanic. You can make time. Auto mechanics, you know how they get paid? There's a book out there that for every make and model year, it tells you how many hours it takes to put a water pump on, let's say. And it may say 3.2 hours. That's what that job should pay, and that's what they charge the customer, 3.2 hours. Now, for a mechanic to make money, he needs to beat that time. Let's say he does it in 2 hours. He makes up that 1.2 hours doing another job. So he can put in 8 hours worth of work, but maybe book 15 or 20 hours of book time, meaning what he's getting paid. That's $25 a book hour or whatever. So he can make 15 hours of work in an 8-hour shift if he's good, or fast, or whatever. And so that's the kind of jobs gunsmiths like, because we can do, if book on it is an hour and a half, if cleanup's easy enough, we can do it in half an hour, or whatever. I do those all day long. So if you can learn to do it yourself, it's a good thing to do. It's not too hard with a little practice. It's really the hardest part is aligning it. Like any job, it's getting things clean, the prep work. Make sure it's absolutely clean. If you look at it and go, I don't like that little area, but it's good enough. No. It's not going to stick. That's probably some silver solder sitting there or something or junk, and it ain't going to sit, and you're going to go shoot a box of shells and it'll go flying. Take the extra time. If you're going to do it, make it perfect. If you say, well, that looks good. Oh, the edge over there, fix it. 5 more minutes, fix it. That's the difference between quality and schlock. Do it right. That's all. But anyhow, yeah, learn how to do it. It's cool. And you feel good. It's you feel like you accomplished something because you not only learned something, but it came out as good or better than a professional would do it. I know it feels good for me to do it. So for just an amateur guy to do it would be awesome. They want to track. Let's see. Keep the live videos coming. I appreciate the good conversation. You know what, guys? That's what it's about. Let's face it. You go to the range, or you go to the gun shop, or I don't know, anything surrounding our hobby, right? You go to a gun shop, maybe, I bet 90% of the time you may not have the intention of buying anything. Maybe some ammo, but not a gun or something. Why do you go there? Because somebody strikes up a conversation, right? Like-minded people, you get to talk about what you love. You get to remember, your first gun, or this hunt, or the time you went shooting, or the class you took, or whatever. And it's the talk, right? It's fun for me, even though I'm talking to myself here, I guess, kind of. But that's why I read the comments, because I like to get you guys involved, and I like to answer your questions, and I like to talk about what you want to hear about. So why not? Government might default all payments on October 18th if they can't raise the debt. Good, they should. They're not going to default all payments. All that stuff's a crock. That's like, the checks are going to stop coming. No, they're not. No, they're not. They like to make you think so. They create all this drama around it, so they have to. Debt ceiling. What do they care about a debt ceiling? They don't care. It used to be a big deal to talk about millions, let alone trillions, and now or billions rather. And now we're talking about trillions and throwing them around like manhole covers, right? It's like tiddlywinks. Oh, you guys don't know what tiddlywinks are, do you? I'm showing my age. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's nuts. I will keep it up. What's better for you, the 1911, 2011 pistols or polymer pistols? As a go-to for For a go-to-war weapon, I'm taking a polymer. I'm taking a SIG P320 and M17. That's what I'm taking with me. 1911, though, I love. 2011, not so much. I don't know. I got a I can't touch it, right? But I got one sitting 6 inches from my knee right now. Anyhow, yeah, I like polymer guns. I like steel guns better than I do polymer, for not just the nostalgia, but the feel. I like shooting them better, all of that stuff. But as a practicality and capacity and all that good stuff, give me an M17 any day. Love that gun. Or a Glock. I like Glocks. I don't like Glocks. I actually hate Glocks. I hate the way they look. I hate the way they feel. I hate pretty much everything about them except how goddamn good they work and how good I shoot them. My son would tell you that every time I'd pull out a Glock and I'd shoot it, I'd look over and he's just shaking his head. And at first I didn't know what he was shaking his head about, but after a while I knew, and I'd just look at him and go, shut up. Yeah. Because every time I pulled out a Glock, he said, Dad, you're just John Wick with a Glock in your hand. He goes, it's unbelievable. He goes, you're like a laser. It just, bam, 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 bam. Like he'd shake his head like, unbelievable. I can't believe I just saw that. And, but I didn't see it and I didn't like it. So I guess I wish I shot as well with a 1911 as I do with that. But he didn't get to see me shoot this M17, this 320. And I feel like I'm much better and faster with that gun. That's a wonderful gun. I love it. I've been kicking around the M18, maybe. I don't know. I like full-size guns, but that M18 is interesting, and there's a bunch of them around right now. You know how they did the original M17 with the all the tan hardware that looked like the actual military gun instead of the black safety and stuff? On the M17, those went quick. They were gone. They went for big money. Well, right now there's a ton of the M18s around in that model. With the certificate, special edition, all of that, and not a lot of money. So I thought, why not? I got the M17, might as well get one of those. It's like having a Glock 19 versus a Glock 17, just a little better for carrying, I guess, a little shorter, a little smaller. But cool. Orient Fixer, I know tiddlywinks, high tech in the old days. They were old when I was a kid. They were, I didn't even know if you could buy them when I was a kid, but we'd go to my grandmother's house, and in her basement, she had all my aunt's old toys. And my aunt was like 20 years younger than my mom. She was kind of an oops baby. So she was closer to my age than she was my mom's age. But she had all those toys there that were a generation or two before me. And there were tiddlywinks, and they taught us how to play it, and we used to love playing them. It was a board game. It came in a square box, not rectangle, just a square box, about yay thick, about yay big. And the center, when you opened the box, there was a cardboard insert in there that had a target on it, a bullseye target. And the bullseye was cut out, and a plastic cup went in there, and you set the box on the table, and then there were these chips. Think poker chips, but thinner, like bingo chips, kind of. Different sizes, medium, small. And you held one like a coin. If I had a coin, I'd show you, but like a coin, and you used the edge of it on the edge of one that was laying on the table. So here's a coin or a chip, and you got a chip you're holding here. And you took the edge and you went chink, and by going chink, it caused that coin to flip. And you aimed at the bullseye and tried to get them in the cup in the middle, or the different rings were different points. And that's all I remember. I don't remember how many you got or how you had to do them, but that's how you did it. It was called Tiddlywinks. Well, my dad used to tell a joke about playing Tiddlywinks with manhole covers. I don't know exactly what he meant by it, but I always used that. I thought, I don't know, one of them stupid things. But yeah, so that was an old game when I was a kid, and it's non-existent or forgotten about now. So I'm surprised Orion knew about it. That's funny. Metal frame guns, Rick, but the polymer Wonder 9s are a great value. Yeah, you say the polymer Wonder guns are a great value, but think about the value in some 1911s. Or any metal gun for that matter. Think about the amount of work that goes into those metal guns versus a polymer. And they're fairly close in price. Under $1,000, a fairly nice 1911. And you got so much more hand fitting and, polishing and finishing and all of that. I mean, a polymer gun, they pop it out of a mold, clean up some injection lines and go. I think the 1911 holds more value that way. Certainly the polymer guns for the money, I mean, the capacity and all that, there's a lot of value there. But if you look at it from a manufacturing standpoint, I think the metal guns are a far better value. Now, you can look at super finely finished 1911s up in that $2-3 grand range. Sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's such a deal, but definitely something to think about. I'm the exact same way with guns, Rock. The poly guns just are faster. Yeah, absolutely. I just hate poly triggers, but SIG seems to have worked it out the best in my book. I like the trigger on the M17, the P320, and I love the trigger on the 365. I like a Glock trigger after I've done the trigger up, I mean, but as far as reset and all, it's hard to get past a SIG. However, what the hell gun is it? It's the Canic, or Janik, I should say. It's pronounced Janik is the proper way to pronounce it. But to most of us, Canic has by far the best polymer trigger there is. The shortest reset, I got a TPS, what is it, 90 or SFX, yeah, with the red dot on it. The trigger on that gun is nothing short of phenomenal. Matter of fact, I got to take that thing to the range. I got to run some rounds in that. What a fun gun. Man, oh man. If I could put that trigger in a SIG, woo, damn, I'd be in business. Let's see. Oh, good. I was hoping somebody would ask this question because I wanted to answer it. And Hattori Hanzo asked it. Hold on a second. I'll get to you in a sec here. Zeroing your AK at 25 yards, do you prefer the rear sight at 0, 200, or 300? It depends how you want to look at your sight. What I would do is set it at battle 0. So the P, or depending on what country, but set it at battle 0, the P. So what he's talking about, guys, and if you're liking or wanting to use what we call the 25-yard 0 with an AK, I agree with you. It's by far probably the best way to zero a go-to-war gun, okay? Not necessarily a range gun, but so on a 7.62 by 39 AK, the easiest, fastest way to set the sights so you're accurate from 0 to 300, maybe 250, 300 even. 300 starting to stretch it, but 250 for sure. Certainly 0 to 200, no problem, is set a 25-yard 0 on it. because the ballistics are such that at a 25-yard zero, you will be able to hit a man-sized target somewhere between here and the belt at 0 to 250 yards if you set it at 25. So here's what you do. Set it at battle zero. You know why? Because then you're not introducing a yardage to it. You're not introducing it's at 100 or it's at 200 or forget about it, because that doesn't matter. You're not paying any attention to yardage other than keeping it under 250, let's say. So set it at battle zero. Sight it in at 25 yards. We all have access to 25-yard ranges, whether they're indoors, outdoors, whatever. Sight it in at 25. Here's the key. And sometimes, either due to some shooters or even some guns sometimes, you don't get a good enough zero at 25. So you have to be very exacting, and I'll tell you why in a second. So sight it in at 25. Do it on a set of bags, okay? You gotta have the ass end on bags, have the front end on bags. Sight it in at 25, but make absolutely damn sure that it is dead smack center bullseye. Don't be, I'm only an inch off to the left, so I'm good. No, you're not good. Don't be an inch low, I'm good, or a half inch low. Don't be a quarter. Be on the friggin' money. As well as you can shoot, be on it. And don't do it just once. Do it 2 or 3 times and make sure that, okay, maybe there's outside something, you flinched a little, whatever. But make sure that thing is as close to perfect as you can get, because you're going to use that zero for point blank all the way to 250. And at 250, whatever you're off on your 25-yard zero is going to be multiplied by, let's say, 8 by 10. So if you're a quarter inch off, you're going to be 2.5 more than that, actually. I got to think about the math on that for a second. But put it this way. If you're an inch off at 25, you're going to be way off at 250, way off. So make sure you're on. That's the most important thing, is making sure that 25-0 is perfect. So here's the gig, guys. At 25 yards, it's dead on. As you go out, leading up to about 100 yards, it'll be a little high, actually. And then once you get past there, it'll start dropping. 200, you'll get a significant drop, but guess what? It's all in about this much space from here to here. So if you want to hit them here, if you sight it at 25 and you want to hit them here, and you're at 200 yards, aim here. It's going to hit right here. I promise you, every time. Or within an inch or two. It really won't matter. It's a lethal shot or a takedown shot. Sight in at 25 and go. If you want to, I like doing that. I don't mind it, but I usually sight mine in. And keep in mind, guys, we're talking yards, right? I even said yards, and I know better. It's meters on those. So if you're going to sight it in at 100 meters, sight in at 100 meters, not 100 yards. And if you set the 100, then all the rest will be fine. You can click up then. But this you don't need to click at. It's good to go. That's what that battle zero is there for, okay? Set it at 25, and anything in its effective iron sight red dot zero magnification range will fall right in that 12, 16, 18 inches from here to here. It's all good. But don't be an inch off here at 25 yards, right? Because at 100 yards, you'll be 4 inches off. At 200 yards, you'll be 8 inches off or more. Double check yourself. Certainly get out there in a 200, make sure it was close enough. You might discover, oh crap, it's off paper, right? You got to be very exacting, and that's about all I'll tell you on that. But it's a great way to sight it in. Good question. Thank you. So if I understand your question right on that, it was, do I prefer the rear sight at 0, 200, or 300? I see all recommended, but no one ever says why. It really doesn't matter if you set the slider at 300, but zero that at 25. It doesn't matter, right? You're effectively doing the same thing. It's just, I think mentally it may tell them, well, I can go out to 300 with it. I would put it at battle 0. Why do I want to crank my sight up more? Which, in my opinion, puts it up there to get damaged, whatever. Put it at battle 0, which is the letter, the P there. That's what I would do. I purchased a Taurus G3 9mm, and I think it's a gun. What? And I think it's a gun. My next pistol is going to be. I purchased a Taurus G3 9mm, and I think it's a gun. Or maybe, man, I think it's a go, or I think it's great. But then it says, comma, my next pistol going to be a 9mm Canic. It may be a good carry gun. The Canic triggers, like I said, are fantastic. And they came out with that new Canic in the Coyote. Guys, for what Canics go for, they're steel. They really are. And they run great. If you don't have a lot of money and you want, I know I got a lot of Taurus fans here, but if you want a better trigger than a Taurus and a gun that is as reliable or better, and a gun more set up tactically, and a full-size gun, the G2, G3, they're compacts and subcompacts. But that Canic, man, for a go-to-war gun, that's a nice, nice pistol. And a great deal. They're cheap, really cheap. And you get all kinds of stuff with them. That's a great thing. Mag holders, mags, holsters, all kinds of crap in the whole package. Great deal for the money. Joe, I can't believe you didn't get on a Canic. That sounds like it's right up your alley, man. I think of all the baseball cards my old man sacrificed to his... Well, Hattori Hanzo, I'm probably your dad's age. I don't know, because I did the same thing. When I was a kid and before I lived, all I wanted was a mini bike. That's all I wanted. And we did that with clothespins. You guys don't even know what clothespins are. You take a clothespin and a playing card and mount it to your sissy bar, because we had banana seats, and mount it to the sissy bar post and put it just so it hits the spokes. And as you rode down the street, the card went clack, 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 sounded like a motorcycle. And yeah, we did that all the time. Baseball cards, playing cards. Yeah, I probably had a few first rookie cards, Michael Jordan cards, you name it. Yeah, we grew up with Jordan, man. It was all that good stuff. The 85 Bears, the greatest football team of all time. Grew up with it. Met them, signatures, all kinds of stuff. What a great time to grow up, man. I love my G3. I'm up to 10 mags for it. What do you need 10 mags for? Where are you going to carry all them mags? Crossbreed holster. Yes, indeed, sir. That's what I run. Matter of fact, summer, I'm so happy fall's here because I can wear a full-size gun again and have my vest or jacket on. Summer, I can't do it. And I threw my 365 on the other day with just a Kydex holster. And I sat down in the car and I went, oh, God, geez. Oh, it felt so uncomfortable because I haven't worn one in a while. And I thought, God, could it be that bad? I just didn't wear it. It was only a couple months. But I think it's because I didn't have the crossbreed. That crossbreed is nice. It flattens everything out. Yeah, I could have been rich on baseball cards too. I'd throw, you'd get into it, you'd collect a bunch of them, and then they'd be in the garage and they'd get thrown out. Oh my God, I don't want to think about it. Rock, I'm way older than you are. Way older? How much older? Can't be way older. I got to look back in that comment. I did see one comment and I thought, what are you in your 60s maybe? How old do you think I am? I look terrible today. I do look old today. Holy Christ. I had a bad day, I told you. Just thinking about stuff with my son. And it's just not a good day for me. And I don't get like that, but it was not a good day. Let's see. I love my G3 10 mags metal internals. Yes, sir. I need to get me a few more mags for the G3. And Joe had not much choice at the time. It was February. Yeah, right. All right, guys. What time is it? Anybody know? Oh, man. It's almost 11 o'clock. What is that? Is using your camera or microphone. Okay, great. I don't want to work tomorrow, but you got to go make the donuts, right? So I'll get off of here unless you guys got a few other questions, something you want me to answer or give my opinion on. I'm happy to. I'll stay on here. There's no problem. Oh, it's not. No, he's not getting better. My son passed away in July. That's what's bothering me. But don't worry. You didn't. You're probably thinking, "Oh my God, I can't believe I posted that." No, don't worry about it. We lost him in July, and it was unexpected. And yeah, it's just been tough. And now that everybody else is better, kind of as better as best as they can be, I was the one kind of supporting it all. And now that I got them across the finish line, it leaves me a little time to breathe. And now it's all setting in on me 2 months later. So yeah, it's been tough. Rock, you're just over 50. You're in your 70s. Somehow I pictured you. I think I pictured you younger than me. I pictured you maybe 30s. Maybe 40s. I don't know. I'm not just over 50. Put it this way, I'm closer to 60 than I am 50. Not by much. And today I look it, but usually I don't, especially when I have a tan. But like I said, it's been a rough few days. Maybe 3 hours sleep in 3 days. So too much thinking going on. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. No problem. I appreciate this. If anything, the guys on this chat and this stream and my channel have been great. So the conversations and the comments on the side through email, through whatever, have been nothing short of fabulous. And some of them from perfect strangers that are no longer strangers. So it's been good. I got to show you one thing before I get off here because I'm loving them. Give me a sec. Okay. So 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, Bakelite magazines were dirt cheap. Okay. Bakelite AK mags. You could pick them up for $10, $20. I probably wouldn't pay over $20. And then they were at 25 and 30. And I thought, geez, man, that's nuts. Because nobody looked at them as cool back then. You didn't, people into AKs like myself were not looking for the cool factor, the badass factor. You were looking for an inexpensive gun that worked, always worked well. Then yeah, it was cool, but that was about it, right? To most of us back then, Bakelite seemed like a Russian mistake, something they tried that wasn't all that great. Feed lips broke, and after all, they were some whacked out, crappy piece of plastic, in our opinion, right? We'd take the steel Or we take Circle 10 Bulgarian mags for sure. Those are still my favorite, best mags. I shouldn't say that. I love Bolt Hold Open, Yugo mags. I used to buy them, restore them. As many, you didn't find a ton of them back then. And when they did start coming in, they didn't even know what they had. They'd get mixed in with the Romanians and the Hungarians and all that. And I would fish through barrels of them and pull out my beloved Bolt Hold Open mags. And then when they started finding out what they were and what they had, they started charging more for them. But I'd buy them by the dozen. And if they were, from the Bosnian War, I would clean them up or sandblast them or paint them. If you got them really nice, they were the most gorgeous bluing you'd ever seen. Just clean them up, oil them up, and I love those. I have crates and crates and crates of those things. Love them. But Bakelite was just junk, the feed lips cracked, all of that stuff. And then they turned cool and they look cool. And I like different. That's probably why I went 8Ks to begin with. And I had my Bakelite Chinese gun, and that's rare and it's cool. And I love the look of Bakelite. Always have. But from a practical standpoint, I wasn't going to pay much over $20-$30. And then when they started jumping up, I drew the line. When they went from 35 to 40, I publicly said on AK Files, I will not pay over $35 or over $40 for Bakelite mag. And I've stuck to that. Other than I needed a couple more for my Chinese gun, and those were exorbitant, $150 already anyways. But I stuck to it. Up until, other than my Chinese gun, I've had 1 or 2 Bakelite mags. That's it. But I love the look of them. And I kept saying, you dumbass, you should have bought more. And you should have said that when they were at 40, they went to 45. And I thought, I should have bought them at 40. Then they went to 50. I should have bought them at 45. At 80, I said, I should have bought them at 75. Now, 100 and 125. And it's nuts. And that is nuts. That's ridiculous, guys, because there are so many of them. When you think they're gone, another shipment gets in, another shipment gets here. They get here by the crate load, and they just dole them out slowly to keep the price up. There's still millions and millions and millions of them out there. They're never going to go away. Anyhow, I found a deal on these, and I've wanted these because I think it'll look so cool in several guns. For a long time, I didn't like the look. And then I saw a picture of a shorty AK pistol with a triangle stock and a 40-round mag. I hated the look of 40s if they weren't on an RPK, but this looked so good. And look what I found. I got a few of these, brand new. That's why I say they're still coming, guys. These are brand new, never inserted. Look at, there ain't a mark on there. It's never, until I got them, this was way, way lighter. It looked like it was sanded. It wasn't, but this is where they grind them down. Until I oiled them last night, these were never oiled, never touched, brand new, new old stock. Look at the floor plate. Look at it. It's brand new. Totally, totally brand new. A lot of guys would have said, oh my God, he oiled it. Why did he do that? He should have left it alone. Because the best thing I can ever do for these things is take ballistol and rub them in, and they turn to glass. This is one application, so you can still see some little things in the surface here. When I'm done with this, I'll put ballistol on them, and I sit in front of the TV just doing this, right? And in a couple days, this thing is like it was waxed. And it keeps your feed lips from cracking, all kinds of stuff. They don't dry out, so they last much longer. You don't have to worry about them. Anyhow, I got a few of these from a source, and they are going to look so good in my SAM 7 pistol. They're going to look good in my Draco. But mostly I am setting up I want to take my SLR 107 FR with the triangle stock and go to a wood forend on it with Bakelite and a Bakelite Polish fatty grip, and that's going to be a great look. And I don't think it's going to look that good in the SAM 7 pistol because I got that thing's all tacticooled out with the flashlight forend and everything. But I may change it up. But it's also going to look really good. And wait till you see what I got coming for my SAM 7 fixed stock. Wait till you see. It's going to look like an original old school Bulgarian gun. I got the salmon stock and grip coming. I've got some Bakelite for it, and I've got an original Bakelite handguard and lower handguard for it. Not sure if I'm going to keep the salmon on there, although if there's one thing that's hard to find, it's hard to find really good condition Bulgarian stocks and pistol grips. They're called salmon. They're like a pinky orange. And most of them have the shit kicked out of them. And I mean beat out of them. They look horrible, right? Well, I got a really, really nice set coming that look new old stock. These are pretty cool, too. They've got all the original ink marks still on them here and here. And this is the bad one. The other one's perfect. It's got the Izzy marks on it and everything. Yeah, here's the Izzy triangle, by the way, right there. If you can see it molded in, right? It's under my finger right now. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. And there's stamped Izzy marks in ink, too, with the arrow and the triangle. Anyhow, so I've got some 40s. These are my first Bakelite 40s. Oh, these are going to look really good. I mean, they don't really match, but they're going to look so good in my Romanian RPKs. Kind of cool, at least, just to take some Instagram photos with, you know. So got those. And the Bulgarian stuff will be in later this week. So I'm hoping they're as good as I think they are. So we'll see. Joe, I thought Orion was younger too. My dad is 73. I'm 32. Joe, you're a baby. You're a baby. God, I'd do anything to be 32 again. Look at me. I got to stretch my leg out, Joe, because I'm getting a cramp because I'm an old fuck. That's why. I turned 60 and now my knees is, yeah, tell me about it. Guess what the key to that is? Losing weight. When I owned a manufacturing plant a couple of years ago, I was very physical there and I was involved out there and I lost a ton of weight. I was doing the channel then, but if you guys look at older videos, I'm a lot thinner. And man, was I in shape. My upper body, everything. My knees didn't hurt, felt great. And now I'm just laying around, eating a lot, living the good life, and catches up to you. Yeah, you fooled all of us. You did. That's good, though. You know what that means? Because you show it here just in writing. You know, nobody knows anything else. It shows you're young at heart, and that's the best thing. That's what keeps you healthy. Trust me on that. I'd be very interested in a get-together shoot. Probably it's not too late this year. The best shootings now. Look at when you see the shotgun video today and the shooting scenes. Look at my shirt. It is soaked. It's soaked all the way to my belly button. I am soaked in sweat. I sweat like you wouldn't believe. And I am covered. I am so sick of that shooting at the range and being drenched and running, because I do a lot of running and gunning and drills and stuff. And it's pouring. My head looks like I got out of the shower. I just pour sweat. You'll see in the video. You're going to laugh. You wouldn't have maybe you wouldn't have noticed before, but man, I hate summer. You guys should. The things I do for you guys, let me tell you. God, I sweat. So this time of year, to go to the range is just magnificent. It's like, this is my time of year. I'd rather be at the range in 10 below zero. I'm not kidding. 10 below zero, no problem. I'll go to the range. I'll shoot in snow up to my knees. That's the best time of year to shoot. I love shooting in the winter. It does not bother me one bit. I can always warm up. I can't cool off, let me tell you. Let's see. Yeah, so think about it, guys. Put some stuff together, and for next week, have some ideas where, what, when, and we'll see if we can put it together. Maybe we'll try to get some sponsors there or something. I'll do what I can on that end. Be cool if I could get Zastava there, wouldn't it? I'd like one Bakelite mag for my Mac 90 just for show. I love my Mac 90 recession. Yeah, I was 60 in March. 2020. Now I'm just man. Outstanding job, Joe. You know what, Joe? You were killing yourself at that weight. You literally were, man. Everybody should be very proud of Joe for that. That's incredible, man. Good job. Good job. And he's a good man, too. He takes care of his parents. My biggest problem is I can't walk 100 yards without both my legs cramping up. Rest for a minute, and I'm good to go for 100 more. Why the cramping? So it's not knee pain. It's cramping. I know what you mean. Hydration for the most part, but there's some other stuff too. I'll ask my wife about that. She'll have an answer for you of what you can do eating and supplement wise to take care of that, I'm sure, unless you got some clues to it. But I'll get you an answer, and I'll bet you it helps. I give my wife a lot of crap, but the girl knows more than anything. And circulation, heart, she's a cardiac nurse. And the doctors love her because she gets it. She's not like some average nurses, you know. She would have made a great doctor. Anyhow, all right, guys, let me get off of here, and I'm going to drop that video. It'll be up in under a minute. I got it set to go unless I come into some problem, but it'll be up in a minute. So check it out. Maybe I'll do an instant premiere if I can figure that out, and you watch it together. I think kind of with a chat like this. So if I can do that, watch for it. Hey, I'm gonna try and do that. I've never done it before. I wanted to, but this is perfect timing with this chat. If you guys want to jump on, within the next minute to 5 minutes, you're going to see the instant premiere notification. If you don't have notifications set, subscribe, hit the bell, make sure you change it to all notifications, and you'll get it. And it's coming up in 5 minutes. You can watch it together and chat, or at least see if it works. If it don't work, you'll watch it. But don't watch it till you get that premiere thing. If you don't get it in 5-10 minutes, then forget it. Or if you don't get it in 15 minutes, let's say, then go in and watch it, okay? But hopefully YouTube does their job and gets the notification out, right? So I'm going to say good night. Thank you all for everything. Thanks for supporting the channel. And shoot me some notes, what you want to see video-wise. I need some ideas, guys. I got a few things shot, but I really need some ideas for videos. So if you guys join in on this premiere, maybe have some ideas for it. Remember, don't piss off old guys. The older we get, the less of a deterrent in life. I'll have a conversation about that one with you one of these days, Orion. This is not the platform, but yeah, it's amazing, right? The older you get. Yep. Yeah. All right, so watch for that. Thanks for everything, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your kind thoughts, your support. I'm just a guy out there doing my thing, and it amazes me every time that people want to sit here and listen to me ramble. But anything I can share, especially to guys younger than me, God bless you guys. It's in your hands, because us old guys, we can train you. We just can't we're not the fighters we used to be, but we'll still give it hell. So I'll see you on the premiere in a couple minutes. Rockford Ordnance out. Do.